What's good, my tribe? Kyle here with day 11 of the 90-day YouTube challenge. Just thought I'd just share what's been on my mind lately, since I can really figure out what to talk about today. We all recently experienced that whole Facebook and Instagram outage, and there's been a lot of conspiracy around it, and a lot of people talking about this is sort of the beginning of this sort of, I guess, migration away from this sort of centralized communication social media platform. And it's, got me really thinking about something that's been kind of floating around in my thoughts for some time now. This idea of, what are we really going to be doing in the future if these platforms go under? Or kind of brought me back to the beginning of when coronavirus hit and people were really freaking out, and we saw a lot of problems with the supply chain. And it's an interesting and kind of scary time we live in. A lot of times we just live under this sort of illusion that everything is kind of under control and flowing as normal. But there are a whole lot of signs in many different sectors of our society showing that we are headed for some sort of, it's hard to say societal collapse because it's hard to know for sure, but it definitely kind of feels like that at times. And, this is something that I've been kind of preparing for and interested in for quite some time. It's one of the reasons why I've been so interested in permaculture and becoming self-sufficient and connecting with nature. And so I just wanted to throw this idea out there. Is what if these kind of centralized governing and support systems that we have in place right now really do start to fail? Start thinking about this. Are you really prepared if we start having resource shortages and food shortages? Do you know how to grow your own food? Do you know how you would stay in communication with your friends and your loved ones? It's a lot of things that I've been thinking about. And currency obviously is going to be a big thing, and I'm really hopeful about a lot of these crypto projects and blockchain technology in general. I highly recommend just start looking into cryptocurrency, start exploring, doing some research around that, start getting into permaculture as a way to kind of turn whatever land that you're on, or wherever you're at, into some sort of self-sufficient system. Permaculture is all about mimicking natural systems, and nature is always abundant. She's always taking care of all of life. And ecosystems thrive when we have this synergistic reciprocation between many different species. A lot of our imbalance in our society, I think, stems from just this lack of connection with nature and the natural world, and how energy flows in the natural world and in our environment. So looking towards permaculture, definitely gives you a lens and a model for how to, I think, live on this earth. I think it's something we all should be studying. And really just looking into alternative technologies as well. Like, think about it. We mainly have two options as far as tech goes, with our devices. A lot of people either have Macs or PCs, like Microsoft products. And so, there's much more than that out there. And perhaps we should start thinking about these other third-party and other not as popular or not as well-known systems. Linux is a system that's much more adaptable and much more creative. It's probably a little bit harder for the lay person to kind of get into. I personally am not into it at all. I use Mac products myself, but I've been talking to my roommate about this a lot, and he definitely recommends looking into these other systems. And really just getting to know your local community, I think, is really important as well. Like, how many of us are really friends with or communicate with our neighbors on a consistent basis? What if the power were to go out? What if our communications were to go down? Do you really know your neighbors? Do you trust your neighbors? Maybe it'd be a good idea to start, connecting with some people in your local community. And I think as Soma Breath instructors, for those of you who are watching this, I think, we do, in this kind of path, we are given some of the tools to really stand up and become leaders in our communities. So, yeah, I think that's about it for now. Just some things to think about, things that have been flowing through my mind, and especially since the whole Facebook outage and a lot of the stuff that's been coming out around privacy. A lot of our devices are really tapped into these sort of data sharing networks, without really us realizing it. We kind of sign away a lot of our privacy rights when we sign up for some of these organizations and applications. So just be careful about all of that stuff and just be aware, I think. So yeah, that's about it for today. Again, I just wanted to thank you all for listening, for allowing me to speak my mind. And I hope you are well. With love and light, may peace be with you.